This is Courtney Young. I'm here with Adrian Zackheim.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Just great.
So today we're talking about rebooting. I guess while there's something to be said for stick-to-itiveness, there often comes a time when you need to reassess where you're headed, be it in business or in life or in the future of the planet. Do you see this rebooting concept as a perennial subject for the business shelf?
Absolutely. Businesses start all over constantly. If you believe in the process of creative destruction, then you also believe in the concept of rebooting.
It's a lot less depressing than the idea that everything is going to be destroyed.
Absolutely.
So I hear Jack Cobert's pick for this month's best business book, Only the Paranoid Survive by Andy Grove, is one of your favorites. Can you tell us why?
It is. It's a great book. It's an enduring classic on the subject of rethinking yourself out of a crisis when it looks really, really bleak. Another
author we're speaking with later in the show is Stan Slapp, the author of Bury My Heart at Conference Room B. And that book's about a different kind of reinventing where it's more about personally realizing how you're approaching your work and how you can change it.
A fantastic book also.
What drew you to that book in the first place?
What drew me to that book in the first place is, first of all, that Stan Slapp has a deeper understanding of how managers think and behave than anyone I've ever encountered anywhere, with the possible exception of Peter Drucker, who is no longer with us, but is the unquestioned dean of American management theory. But after Drucker, that chair has really been vacant. And Stan understands managers in a somewhat different way. It's less process-oriented and more oriented around the person that the manager is and the task that the manager is called upon to fulfill. And he speaks incredibly wisely about the problem that confronts many of the best managers today, a problem that is really a relatively new problem. The problem of performing under extraordinarily stressful conditions, not only for a month or for 6 months or for a year, but if we look at the top management teams at the fastest growing, highest performing large companies in America, these people are performing miracles on a quarterly basis. And all of them are basically a few inches away from permanently burning out. So the question that Stan is asking is, how do we replenish these people? How do we keep them on the top of their game? And how do we keep them from basically crashing and burning way before they've reached even the midpoint in their careers? And that, I think, is a very provocative and exciting question to be asking right now because it's so relevant. If we let the company's objectives be the only criteria for managerial performance, we're going to end up losing our best managers. And there's a lot of evidence that's true. And the rate at which America's best-run companies have embraced Stan Slapp's outlook, it seems to me, is testimony that, he's onto something that people recognize as being true.
The third author we're speaking with on the show today is Don Tapscott, whose new book, Macroeconomics, is about to come out. And his book is about taking this concept to a more global scale where we need to rethink things in every institution all over the world. Do you agree that business in the world are due for a big Control-Alt-Delete?
It's not only so much that I believe that they are, it's that in many instances they are in the process of enduring one. And in many other instances, they are resisting. There are industries that are resisting a reboot that's probably coming at them. Don's insight is that the recent collapse of segments of the global economy was like a wake-up call, if you will. It was the final blow that basically put a number of enduring institutions out of business. And by that I mean, for example, large sectors of the economic system, large sectors of the media, and many other, more or less, we thought, permanent institutions within the global infrastructure just suddenly blew a tire. So that was the signpost that Don sees. And there is clearly a rising interconnected technology that is in many ways positioned to simply take on, to assume the burden that had been carried by an outdated or antiquated infrastructure that is now lying on the roadside somewhere back in 2008.
Thanks, Adrian.
My pleasure.